5,350 pounds, previously known as the Passport Grand Touring 2520. This is kind of a case of brand new look, same great taste. This is now the Passport GT 2521 rear living here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Travel accessible, as we'll see very shortly. Ultralite, easy towing couples camper. And basically what they did is they took the old Grand Touring series and they effectively took all the things that made the Elite series really shiny and put them on the Grand Touring series, and congratulations, here's your new GT. Again, brand new look, same great taste, and same excellent service records that we've had out of Passport for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. There's a lot of great aspects in this camper, but the fact that with the full slide close, this big deep dinette slide like we see, you can very easily navigate the RV. Really, the only thing you're going to lose is just the television in transit. Short of that, you want to get to the kitchen, you want to get to the bedroom, you want to be able to get over here to the bathroom in transit. This is a simple open the door walk in. You don't even need to walk sideways sort of travel accessible camper. And that is something that is a very tricky find. And here, in a sub 30-foot floor plan at that, you know, great couples camping, big living room when you get there, but an easy, shorter towing, accessible floor plan on the way. But there's a lot more to this one than just travel functionality. It gives you an awesome couples camping arrangement here in a trailer that's less than 30 feet tip to tail, which is pretty darn cool. Great windows, as we'll talk about as we go, but there's a bunch of little features here that weren't found on the previous 2520 that are now present on the 2521. Essentially, the easiest way I can describe it, if you're familiar with the history of Passport, is they took the Grand Touring from last year, and they took the Elite series and they kind of mashed them up. And where you can see that is like we got the open feeling vaulted ceiling here. Some other features like the upgraded countertops, the bigger refrigerator that weren't found in the Grand Tourings but were in the Elites. Now they just have the GT, effectively, is what this is. What's also cool here is this is a couples camper that really has some pretty fair guest accommodations. Now there's, full, privacy shades all the way around all these windows, all of which open for airflow. And what's nice about that is it really helps kind of privatize things for good guest sleeping. And that is one of the things this one does very well right here. Because we have a full-size, adult-sized U-dinette that's like 44 inches deep and about 7 foot long. So you can sleep an adult guest on here. It's not just a grandkid sleeper. Although, this is the standard sofa arrangement, and they are going to be releasing at some point a theater seat option. We'll probably have some of those in. We'll probably have some of them like this. So remember that this video might not hard match the exact one that we have in stock. Keep that in mind. But what we are looking at here is the standard jackknife sleeper storage sofa. And that's a very long description for a very simple thing, but it's also a very descriptive description because it tells you pretty much exactly what it does. Now what is neat is when you have it in the seating position, there's these removable armrest bolsters. You don't realize there's like a little almost hidden miniature headboard storage pocket right there, which is pretty cool. And one of the cool things that they did here is you do still have rear wall outlets, even though this is now a laminated rear wall, which it was not previously. We'll talk more about the construction aspects outside, but it still makes it very appliance friendly, very phone charger friendly. A whole bunch of cool little extra little bonus features go along with things like that. So in addition to good living space and good guest sleeping capacity, this thing also has storage basically everywhere. You see the doors on the ends of the dinette here for easy full dinette storage. One of the words I used in describing the standard sofa back here was the word storage, and that's because under it, you see that if you basically bend this thing right to the sweet spot, which isn't difficult, it's not like it took me a while to try to balance it, there comes a point where you fold the sofa and you go, okay, it'll stay right there. Well, it's basically a full storage chest below it. But what's more is there's a full storage array above that. Now these are all hardwood framed cabinet doors, and they have pocket screwed styles. So, it's not particle board that's been stapled together. This is a good brand of camper. It's built well. It's not the most expensive brand of camper, and that's the thing, is that a lot of people associate price tag with quality. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that's a dangerous assumption, because something can be expensive and not well built. Price tag does not discern quality. You know, we're kind of expected that in our society. We think that the more expensive thing has to be the better one. I guess the word quality can mean different things. To me, quality means when you buy this, it stays in your driveway and it doesn't come back to mine. And in that regard, Passports are a very high quality brand. Now notice that between that flush mount stove, the full sink cover over that stainless farm sink, and this big countertop, this actually has more countertop space than a super slide model. Now back here, especially with that outlet back there, it is just absolutely begging you to throw like a coffee maker or some appliances or something like that. It's the perfect place to do things like that. And I've seen one of the more common bits of feedback on this floor plan, and it's obvious that it comes from people who have never actually stepped foot into one of these campers. They say, well, the dummies that designed this, and I'm quoting, mind you, when people are hiding behind a screen name on YouTube, I've noticed they're very willing to be real strong. Anyway, they'll say, well, the dummies that designed these, they wasted all that counter space next to the sofa. No, they didn't. I'm not leaning. You can reach right over here, and you can just grab everything. Not to mention, especially if you put some appliances over there, it'll occupy some of the space that's furthest away from you, and it opens up the opportunity to have nothing but windows over here. And how about the fact that those also open for cross breeze? Every window in this living room opens for excellent, excellent airflow. Now, the sink cover, I popped that off while we were looking at the countertop there. And you can see that you've got a nice upgraded stainless farm sink. That is a step up from what we had last year with metallic high-rise sprayer faucet, not a plastic fixture. And something I think I discovered completely accidentally. That sink cover sits right there, very stable so when it is there, and it creates the perfect backsplash. I mean, I was like, wow, that's really handy and incredibly easy to clean. Down here, your stovetop, obviously tempered glass, recesses down to give you that maximum prep space. And if you look below that stainless farm sink, you can see that they gave you, any ounce of storage they possibly could down there, including a couple handy drawers. Now, compared to the 2520, this current 2521 generation has a 33% larger 8 cubic foot fridge freezer. Everybody likes that. I've never heard somebody be disappointed by a bigger refrigerator. But what's also nice is they kept all the storage right here on both sides of the entry door. So this, you see, has a hanging rod on top, and these are removable shelves. So if you do want to pop those out of there, it's just one screw on each side. So the screws keep the shelves in place, but it's easy to remove. You don't even need like a power gun or nothing like that. And congratulations, you can add yourself an extra closet. Although right next to, like in between the bathroom, the bedroom, and the entry door, we have almost like a lower linen shelf with a coat closet above. Because if I get in here, you see that it does have simple but effective coat hanging hooks. And that's all it needs. It doesn't need fancy. It needs effective. And that's exactly what this brand is. And we'll come back to it, but I love the fact that the entry door is located right across from the bathroom. When you're at your destination, it'll eliminate the need for tracking so much dirt through the RV. Now, the entertainment center here, what's kind of nice about this, the TV directly faces that rear sofa. But if you want it to face the dinette, you can do that too. Or you could just kind of ease off the angle that I have it on currently here a little bit, and you could be able to sort of share it between the dining arrangement and the sofa area. And hey, why not put some storage below? Now right below the TV is a Bluetooth DVD player, but you see how there's a shelf just to the left of it. If you do want to expand your entertainment needs, you do have our entertainment system, as it were, to fit your needs. You have the ability to do that. And just one quick look here at the dinette from the other direction, and then we'll close the living room up and kind of, not make it look so cluttered with all the doors exploded open everywhere. Another thing that's not always immediately recognizable, but when you sit down in a Passport, you start to realize they put all sorts of like plugs and everything right near all your seating areas so that you've always got places to keep things like phones and charged up and whatnot. Or let's say you do have an adult guest sleeping on this dinette. We saw it in the sleeper mode. But let's say they're a CPAP user, or you want to throw a heated blanket. You've got an outlet built right into the dinette for that. It's very cool. The neat little note here. You've got this extra vent in the kitchen area. It's more than just a skylight. Like a lot of campers will put a skylight here, but Passport made this actually crank open so that if you do want to exhaust some warm air from cooking or whatever, you got a perfect spot for it. Now, as we walk toward the entry or bathroom or sort of like convergence area, you see that we've got motion sense lighting here. You'll find a matching light in the pass-through. It has both motion, off, and on mode, so you really have, full control over it. Another thing here is if you are looking for just a handy little evening night lighting, there's a few of these lights scattered throughout the RV so that if you turn all the lights off, you've actually got a very slick, handy evening night navigation sort of lighting system in a way. Also in the dinette, something I didn't mention sooner because there's a lot to talk about on these. Passport's become a lot more advanced product than they ever had been in the past. The lighting above the dinette is actually on a touch sense dimmer switch. So if you want to just dim those lights and use those like a night light, you can do that too. You have two different night light methods here. Plenty of floor space here in this bathroom. You can see floor flush stool. And we've now got more headroom in the Passport showers than ever in the GT series, thanks to that vaulted ceiling and very intelligent positioning of the skylight. That is something that Keystone as a whole has done very successfully in the Cougar travel trailer series that you also see here at Haylet RV that our Passports now, thankfully get to enjoy the benefit of. And I like the fact that you can get out of that shower, and that's an easy entry split open shower door, but have plenty of floor space to actually be able to get dressed. And how about this for snazzy? This glass panel insert sliding pocket door got a very sort of modern Zen look and feel to it. It's just, nice little upscale touch. This year at Keystone RV was the year of the shiplap, and their front headboards across a lot of Keystone products have that very similar accent wall there. Now, a little indicator here of something that I like to point out is when you see a full overhead shelf cabinet as opposed to just a shelf. They didn't cut that corner just because we left the living room. They do have full-size extra large nightstands on both sides of the bed, and you'll find both household and USB plugs on both sides of that. Now, this is a 60 by 80 residential queen. It's not the short camp queen. So if you are taller like me, no sweat. Your feet are not going to hang off the bed or anything like that. And directly across from the bed, technically against the ceiling, but they left you a spot over here. If you want to mount a TV across from the bed, knock yourself out. You got the perfect canvas to do so. And I wanted to make sure that the bedroom door was open or closed, or I guess whatever you wanted. This position right here, travel position, so that you could see how much room. You could probably easily throw a 32-inch TV against that wall. The 3/4 caps, the full paint that they have on these 3/4 caps is just, it's absolutely outstanding. It looks so amazingly three-dimensional due to the fact that they really did a good job of color shading this. That interior section, is that dark black accent around the sort of gray platinum, framing that you have, and it almost gives it like a windshield look, even though it's not a windshield camper, but it really has that look and feel. Now, we're going to talk a lot about what makes these campers lighter weight here, and where it really starts is from the ground up with a lighter weight, like aircraft style Z chassis. It's not an I-beam, but it's also stronger. It's made with a higher strength steel that uses a lower level of alloy, and what that means is just lighter but stronger, but not less expensive. It is one of the areas that, although Passport's actually one of our least expensive ultralights overall, they do spend good money on the chassis, and that's what I like about these guys. They spend good money where it counts, which is why we just don't really have problems with them. What they do exceptionally well. They just don't do more than they need to. They're very good that way. Power tongue jack, power awning, of course. You see that the nice little Keystone Shield sticker in the background indicating their 3-year structural warranty, which is the most comprehensive of its kind in the RV industry. And it's easy to miss because it's black on black, but they do have a simple, like, face-mounted solar prep plug here if you are looking to, get off grid a little bit. Now, we'll talk more about this as we go, but all of your baggage doors have magnet holdbacks, which is nice. But I wanted to specifically leave one of the doors down so that you got to see how they also seal and protect that hinge. Because just like what we're seeing right now, like, the hinge is wet, or would be if it wasn't sealed currently. And you might notice there's a little bit of that 4-letter S word on the ground right now. And however you want to interpret 4-letter S word, that's how we feel about it here in Michigan, but we keep living here and not moving away, so maybe we're the idiots. But the point being, water gets on that hinge, freezes. When water freezes, it expands, and it could spring that hinge. well, you just don't have that problem. Full black tank flush, full outside utility shower, and this is, you'll see by the door there's a sticker that says extended season camping. Well, this has an enclosed underbelly with a 30,000 BTU furnace, same as like a Cougar trailer. What extended season means is like current weather like this, where it's above freezing right now, it might dip below freezing at night, then come back up during the day. This camper will remain functional and viable, you won't have problems. If it's going to go to 0 and sit there and hard freeze, that is when you want to winterize an extended season camper. That's the difference between 0 degree rated and extended season usage. You know, the fact is that most people, when the snowflakes start flying, they either move to warmer weather, like a goose, or they, I don't know why, the whole goose thing, it just made me laugh. I'm laughing at myself over here. Anyway, they either move to warmer weather or they'll winterize, you know. Now, you do have, all the windows are going to open for airflow, and they are UV tinted as well, which will help with heat management because you're helping keep the heat out of the RV. We have laminated sidewalls, floor, rear wall, which is a more recent update, actually. Before the, we'll call it nose cap generation passports, they had a non-laminated rear wall. And the thing is, one's really not superior to the other, ladies and gentlemen. As a person who represents and has seen a lot of different trailers and has witnessed a lot of different service needs come through the industry, I truly do not feel that a laminated versus a non-laminated rear wall is better either way. I know that people feel better with a laminated rear wall, so Keystone laminated their rear walls. That's the only reason, just to make people feel a little bit better, because there's really no significant benefit to it. Good news is, there are a lot of significant benefits to the other aspects of this RV. And we had just enough room to open that awning, but we got it done. Before we get there though, I want to mention this bracket back here. These passports always have either a bumper mounted grill, as you see here, and the grill is included, or some kind of outside kitchen cooktop. Either one or the other. They always make sure you have some method of keeping the heat from cooking outside. Now you might notice there's a little bracket there. You can pull a pin so that the grill swings around to more of the campsite, or you could grill off the back of it, just whatever works for you. Now, this is the space next to the sofa under the countertop. They wanted to make sure you could still access that easily because, you know, getting to it from the inside was not really a simple, easy, intelligent option. But you know what you could put out here? Any darn thing you want. Whether you want, you know, your tablecloths or, you know, bug spray or whatever it is, you got room for all that stuff out here. There's always something you can do with a storage pocket. But what's neat is, even though it's not their pass-through compartment, you can see they're still using magnet holdbacks in this for just simple, easy operation. Speaking of simple and easy, the awning here is a literal 2-finger tilt. So if you want to tilt adjust this awning for some rain runoff, it is about that simple. And it's also self-adjusting, so if you hit the button and it rolls itself up, if the awning's cranked down, no sweat. It does also have an auto rain dump feature if you don't want to manually tip it. And between the white skin and the white under awning, that indirect lighting there under the awning is going to light this thing up pretty darn nicely. It's also going to tow pretty darn nicely with the wide stance stability axles that you see here. By spreading these axles apart, the best way I can describe this is, you know, I'll try not to make you seasick. If we look down real quick, if you put your feet right close together and someone pushes you, you're going to lose your balance. But if you set your feet shoulder width apart, suddenly you gain stability. Exact same thing here. By spreading those axles, they've gained towing stability. And what it does is it helps eliminate the bouncing and the wiggling in transit. It's not a replacement for a proper weight distribution and anti-sway system. It's a supplement too, and it's very handy on things like tow package SUVs with short wheelbases. It helps immensely. Compared to the previous Grand Touring series, the new GT series here, you see the MORryde stable steps, kind of like that nose cap up front. There are some specific improvements that have been made to kind of give you a more enjoyable camping experience. The entry door here, if I grab this and flip it, this is also anti-slam, so it doesn't bash itself anywhere. And they have also expanded the pass-through storage of all of these passports. The baggage door is significantly taller, and it does give you like a side saddle compartment in a way, but even the total height of the pass-through itself has been increased, and this is an easy way to get to see the all-aluminum skeleton that helps keep these campers light, in addition to that lighter chassis. And just like the entry door, we have motion sense lighting right here, so that this thing, you know, is easy to access, and it's on when you need it, off when you don't. Just kind of makes sense. The long and the short of it, guys, is that if what you're looking for is an easy towing, lightweight, snazzy, smexy couples camper, well, here you go, and it's all under 30 feet with excellent travel access, which is another very cool feature. So whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between, we do it all at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.